Hello everybody, today we're gonna practice present perfect simple past in Unit 6, Workbook Part 1. As you can see, there are some words or expressions that indicates us that something is in simple past or must be present perfect. The first example, we have a government spokesperson has announced new economic policies yesterday. So that has announced that would be because the time expression yesterday is indicating something in particular in the past. Therefore, we have to use this tense. Below, a government spokesperson announced new economic policies yesterday. Now you can pause the video and then try to find out the possible answers. Alright, so it's time to reveal the answers. So number one, as we said here, it says a government spokesperson announced new economic policies yesterday. So it has announced. So this announced, it's the correct verb form, not has announced. If it said or if it were has announced, it must be or not make any relationship with the past or any tense. In this case, we have the time expression yesterday, so it's indicating a particular moment in the past. Now, unusual weather events have been happening across the country. So this one, we have here unusual weather events have been happening. That's present perfect progressive. And that is correct, so it's making like still, no? So the last day is making a relationship, the past and the present. Now let's try with number 3. Police arrested several identity thieves so far this year. When we have this year, it's indicating present or a moment that's now. It is making a relationship between the past and the present time, or the current time in this case. So we have police have arrested several identity thieves so far this year. Instead arrested, it's have arrested. It's present perfect. Now let's try number 4. It says number 4, burglar have stolen 2 paintings on Monday night. This case, burglars have stolen 2 paintings Monday night, specifying the time. It is burglars stole 2 paintings on Monday night because it's something that occurred in a specific moment in the past. Remember that we don't use the present perfect when something is specific. Then, several observers saw a rare butterfly in Central Park over the past week. In this case, we'll identify saw, and in Central Park over the past week. So it's not correct. It's making several observers have seen a rare butterfly. So they have seen it. It's not indicating when or particular time, right? So it says several saw a rare butterfly in Central Park. But the thing is, over the past week, it is making a relationship between the past and the current moment. That's why it's not correct. Number 6, jazz pianist Jacqueline Gray gave a concert at the Civic Center last night. So everything indicates that here we have the time expression that's last night. And yes, it will relate the verb is gave. So there's no problem with it. So it's correct. And the last one, the stock market has fallen sharply the other day. So this is the other day. So now the other day, it's a day that had already happened, and therefore it says fell sharply the other day. So this is the reason that's not correct. Now I'm gonna reveal the answers, all the answers again. You may check yours. Okay, you may check them, and then we're gonna continue to the next exercise. Alright, the next exercise, it's a reading, says choose the verbs that best complete this update about ongoing news story. I'm gonna pause, or well, you're gonna pause the video right now, and then you can try figuring out which are the correct answers. And these are the answers. I'm gonna reveal them all. Then you may check the reading, since we have has delayed, has occurred, have been trying, have been searching, have been located, has come up, have removed, have left, have been setting. Remember that we use the present perfect progressive. To indicate an activity, it continues. It continues that activity, and that's why we use the present perfect progressive to express an activity that continues. Then let's gonna go to the next exercise. In this one, we're gonna relate the headlines according to the words that we look. In this case, we have kidnapping, epidemic, hijacking, natural disaster, political crisis, rebellion, recession, robbery, scandal. Then we have here a million found in director's secret bank account. That's a scandal. Okay, let's gonna check the headlines, and then you're gonna reveal. Well, we're gonna reveal the answer. So it says 1.5 million stolen, airline passengers still being held captive, earthquake destroy house downtown, prime minister resigns, virus seeking thousands, hundreds of inmates take over prison, millionaires why held for ransom, and stocks employment number fall. Then we're gonna reveal the answers. Okay, let's gonna check it all together. So the first one, it's a scandal. The second is a robbery. It says 1.5 million were stolen. Then airless passengers still being held captive. So this is a hijacking. Remember, hijacking is when you take possession, or people illegally take possession from a vehicle. Then natural disaster, earthquake. No, this is an earthquake. The earth vibes, but too high. Then the prime minister resigns. That's political crisis. Virus seeking thousands. Epidemic. Then the next one is hundreds of inmates take over prison. That's rebellion. Millionaires why held for ransom. That's kidnapping. Kidnapping and hijacking. The main difference is when the hijacking, it's when you take a vehicle. Well, when they take a vehicle, we don't say that you take a vehicle illegally. And meanwhile, the kidnapping is when you force a person, or you, when they hold a person, and ask for money, or for anything that it's has a meaningful value. And then the last one, stocks and employment numbers fall. That's recession. These are our vocabulary. Now we're gonna continue with the next activity, and that will be the exercise for this unit. I want you to complete with your own ideas the next thing. So you're gonna complete complete the sentence about some of the headlines above with your own ideas. Use the present perfect or present perfect continuous form of the verbs in parentheses. As in the example says, official said director, there's a withdraw, has been withdrawing hundreds of $1,000s from the company account for the past 3 years. Then the director has denied stealing any money. So that's a political scandal. And you may continue with the next ones and create yours. And now to conclude this section, we have read the story, then number the pictures in the correct order. We have this stories is trapped cat rescued. So after spending 14 days trapped inside the walls of 157 years old building in New York City, last April, Molly Ridley became a world famous cat attempting to save the black cat. Rescuers set traps and used special cameras and raw fish or tried to lure Molly out from between the walls. They even tried using kittens to appeal to the cat motherly side so she would come out, but Molly would not budge. Finally, after they removed bricks and drilled holes into the walls, someone was able to pull the curious cat out of the tiny space. The bricks have now been replaced, but Molly has been getting visits from tourists daily since she was rescued. Even so, Molly's adventures may not be over. Her owners say that at least once they caught her looking inside a similar hole in the building. Now it says write news stories about interesting recent events, so you can post here some interesting events that have occurred these days and the other activity. So then you will have 2 activities to complete, and the other one is it's quite the same, but here you can put something from the local news that you have heard recently. And now let's gonna order the story. So these are the answers. This is first, number 1 was the Dinos. Remember that they tried to pursue her to get out from the old building. Then the second, it was the letter C. The letter C, they took even other little cats and other, try to lure her with fish and other things. Then the three, then they trap it, and then the four was when the man, no, mom came out. Since the list was calved, no, so that was Molly calved. All right, so that will be pretty much it for today, section 1 of the workbook activity. So try to do the exercise and make the pauses to practice enough. All right. So that's it, guys. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon.